Before we start, I want to be clear about something. This video is not about blaming anyone. It is not about saying, my childhood was hard, so feel sorry for me. It is about understanding, because when you are a kid, you see things one way. And when you become a father yourself, you start seeing those same things very differently. My name is Mike Karakis, and this is what my parents taught me. Not through speeches, not through motivational quotes, through survival, through sacrifice, through doing what had to be done when there were no easy options. You already know part of this story if you have been following this channel. We were refugees from Communist Romania. We came to America in 1985. I was 5 years old. We left Romania with our clothes, my father's paintings, my mother's crocheted work, and $90. That was everything. We landed at JFK. We flew to Tennessee. We stayed with Bobby and Margie Yergin in Greenfield while my parents found their footing. And then we moved to Everett, Massachusetts, Glendale Street. That is where my American childhood really began. My parents went to work at New England Shrimp. If you have never worked in a fish factory, let me tell you what that means. It means long hours. It means hard physical work. It means coming home exhausted and smelling like the ocean. They were paid approximately $3 an hour, $3 for backbreaking work in a country where they barely spoke the language. They never complained about it, not once, not in front of me. What they did bring home was frozen fried shrimp all the time, and I loved it. I still love it. To this day, every time I take a bite of fried shrimp, I am instantly transported back to being 5 or 6 years old on Glendale Street. Some foods do not just feed you, they carry memory. Fried shrimp is that for me. My parents worked afternoon shifts. They were gone until around 10 o'clock at night, and I was 6 years old, six. Before they left, they would sit me down and give me the instructions. Lock the door. Keep the shades down. Do not answer the door for strangers. If the phone rings, pick it up. If it is not us, hang up. That was the safety plan. No cell phone, no camera, no Ring doorbell, no Life 360, no text message saying, "Are you okay?" Just a 6-year-old immigrant kid in an apartment on Glendale Street, locking the door, pulling the shades down, and trying to be brave until his parents came home. Was I scared? Yes. At first I cried. Of course I cried. I was 6. I was alone. I barely spoke English. But then something happened. I got used to it. That is what kids do when life does not give them another option. They adapt. They grow tougher before they even understand what toughness is. I watched a lot of television in that apartment. He-Man, Transformers, Thundercats, Battle Beasts, whatever came through that screen and made the apartment feel less quiet. And late at night, when my parents were finally home and asleep, I would sneak out of bed and watch the shows they would never have allowed. Tales from the Dark Side, Friday the 13th, the series, Nightmare on Elm Street, the series. They were not good television by today's standards, but I loved them. I loved being scared. There was something about the fear that made me feel alive in that quiet apartment. And on Sunday mornings, I was up at 5 in the morning. The Muppets, Danger Mouse, sitting there in the dark before the sun came up, watching whatever came on. Just me and the television and the stillness of a house that was still sleeping. Those were my hours. That was my world. Now let me tell you about our first television in America, because it deserves its own moment. It was not a big television. It was not even a normal television. It was a tiny 5 or 6 inch black and white radio and television combo that my father bought from a small convenience store. The reception was terrible. The picture was fuzzy, and it sat on top of an upside down garbage can. That was the entertainment center. 3 Romanian immigrants sitting around a tiny black and white television on a garbage can. And we were happy. Not because it was nice, not because it was comfortable, but because we were in America. That little television on a garbage can meant something. It meant we were here. It meant we had made it to a new place. It meant maybe life could become something different. That is hard to explain to someone who grew up with everything. But when you come from almost nothing, even a tiny black and white television on a garbage can feel like a miracle. When we finally got our own place, my parents did not have money for furniture. There was no bedroom set, no mattress delivery. One rainy night, my father went out and found an old mattress in the trash. He brought it home, cleaned it, disinfected it the best he could, put it on a piece of plywood sitting on 6 milk crates, and that was my bed. And I was happy. Because I had a bed, because my father found a way. Because in that moment, it did not feel like poverty. It felt like home. That is what immigrant parents teach you. Love does not always look soft. Sometimes love looks like a father walking through the rain looking for something his child can sleep on. Sometimes love looks like a mother and father working until 10 at night because bills do not care that you are tired. Sometimes love looks like sacrifice that a child cannot fully understand until decades later. School was hard. I did not know a single word of English when I started, not one. And there was no special program waiting for a Romanian kid. I was just there, in class, trying to understand a language that sounded like noise at first. Some teachers were kind, some were patient, some helped, and I remember that. But some were not kind. Some made it clear they saw me as a problem, and when you are a little kid, you feel that. Even if you cannot explain it, you feel when someone is annoyed by your existence. But within that first year between 1985 and 1986, something shifted. The language clicked. I started understanding, then speaking, then thinking in English, because I had no choice. That is another thing immigrant parents teach you without saying it. Figure it out, not in a cruel way, in a survival way. Nobody is coming to make everything easy. You learn, you adapt, you keep moving. I remember my first Halloween. My parents did not understand it. To them, it was some strange American habit where children dress like monsters and knock on strangers' doors demanding candy. That year, I did not have a costume for the school parade, and my teacher, Mrs. Parkey, helped me. She gave me a Rambo costume, one of those old vinyl costumes with the plastic mask. If you know, you know. That mask had 2 eye holes and 1 tiny mouth slit and enough sharp plastic edges to qualify as a workplace hazard. But to me, it was the greatest thing I had ever seen. I got to be part of it. I was not left out. Mrs. Parkey probably never knew how much that moment mattered. But it mattered. Because when you are an immigrant kid, small kindnesses stay with you forever. You remember who made you feel included, you remember who made you feel ashamed, and you carry both. My parents also had rules that made no scientific sense whatsoever. Do not drink cold water when you are hot and sweaty. You will catch a cold. Air conditioning? Dangerous. A window slightly open. Medical emergency. I could be outside in the summer sweating, genuinely dehydrated, and my parents would still say, do not drink cold water. Science had questions. Romanian parents did not. They had already made a ruling. The draft is guilty. No appeal. Some things cross every border. Now I need to tell you the part of this story that changes everything. My mother, Regina, passed away on September 17, 1995. Breast cancer, ovarian cancer. The woman who held me on that plane to America. The woman who cried herself to sleep in Tennessee because she was so desperately homesick. The woman who worked in a fish factory for $3 an hour. The woman who crocheted intricate works by hand because creating beautiful things was in her soul, even when everything around her was uncertain. She never got to know them, and they never got to know her. That is the part that never stops hurting. My father, Alexandru, and my stepmother, Susie, moved back to Romania in 2020. They do not know I am making this video, but wherever this reaches, Dad, this one is for you too. Thank you for saying no to the secret police in that airport. Thank you for waiting 4 years for permission to leave. Thank you for finding that mattress in the rain. Thank you for the tiny television on the garbage can. Thank you for building something from nothing. And to my mother, Mom, I love you. I miss you every single day. I want you to know that you have 2 beautiful grandchildren who would be madly in love with you. Giuliana is 13. She is brilliant, funny, and opinionated. Michael is 9. He is confident and fearless and kind. You would have adored him completely. There is so much to catch up on, so much I want to tell you, so much I wish you could see. I know you are watching. You always were. Thank you for everything you ever did for me, for every shift you worked, for every sacrifice you made, for every moment you chose to stay in a country that was not yet home so that it could become one. You gave me everything. For every shift you worked, for every sacrifice you made, for every moment you chose to stay in a country that was not yet home so that it could become one. You gave me everything. Looking back now as a father, I understand it all differently. I understand the fear you must have carried, the pressure, the exhaustion, the loneliness, the love underneath all of it. You were not raising me in easy conditions. You were surviving in a new country and bringing me along with you, and you did it. My parents gave me survival. I give my kids presents. My parents gave me toughness. I give my kids security. My parents gave me independence. I give my kids involvement. My parents gave me everything they could with what they had. I give my kids everything I can with what I have. That is not disrespecting the past. That is honoring it. That is what immigrant parents taught me. You build, you sacrifice. You give your children a better starting point than the one you had. And one day, if you are lucky, they understand. I understand now. I understand the tiny television. I understand the mattress. I understand the long shifts. I understand the locked door and the shades pulled down. I understand the fear about drafts. I understand all of it. And I am grateful for every single piece of it because it made me who I am. If this story connected with you, hit the like button, drop a comment, and tell me what your parents taught you that you did not fully understand until you got older. And subscribe. New videos every week, sometimes more. Mike will read every single comment on this one, every single one. And somewhere, a Romanian parent is closing a window because someone might catch a draft.